Welcome to Tanya Lacy Online and Positivity Show. If I was to say to you that I'm excited about today's interview, that would be an understatement. The woman I'm about to introduce you to is absolutely smashing it. She is just an amazing person that I met quite some time ago, and I wanted to share her with my community because she has some resources and some lessons that I know that you guys will really, really benefit from. She has founded her entity, her group, her company called Amazing. She has an academy. She has online university. She has written, how many books is it? I think it's 3 books. They're all Amazon best-selling books. And she's a mother. She's a single mum. And it is my absolute honour to introduce you to Sandra Bravo. Sandra, hello and welcome to Positivity Show.
Thank you for having me here. Super excited to be part of your beautiful tribe.
Thank you so much for doing this, Sandra. And I understand you were just in Mexico. Last time I grabbed you on a live, you were at the airport coming back from, you're going from Melbourne to the Gold Coast. So I think that one of the things I want to ask you about is a secret to your energy, if we can jump right in there, because this is a massive observation I've made about your success formula. So you want to talk about energy? Could we start there?
Yes, absolutely. I think one of the key elements to energy is to find what you love, because it's very different to be doing something because you have to, or for the money, or, then doing something because you love it.
Yes.
It's the difference between I have to and I get to. I get to do this because I want to. No, I have to do this.
Okay.
And once you're doing what you love, it's like a recharge, because you're constantly recycling energy. And when you're doing what you love, then it's making an impact on other people, which brings a lot of fulfillment to you. And so the more fulfillment, the more you want to do it. And, as human beings, we are designed to do more for others than we do for ourselves.
Yes.
And we get our joy in life from, purpose, a purpose-filled life. And when we're not in purpose, when we're not doing what we love, when we're not adding value to others, that's when people tend to get, depressed or go down or lose their motivation, because they lost their purpose. They don't know what they're doing. There's nothing juicy. So it's very important that we're always adding value to others, because that's what gets us that juice called energy, because then we get fulfilled and excited and, oh my God, I'm helping someone. I want to do more of that, because it's a happy pill. It feels so good when you do something for someone else.
Amazing. Really is. I would love you to talk about stage, and I'd love to talk a little bit about energy with stage, because I know that when you're on stage, you talk about you create, and this is a great leadership metaphor, that you actually create the mirror. So I'd love you to share a little bit about that and what you've learned along the way with all your stage work that you're doing. Maybe fill in a little bit about some of the stuff that you do on stage as well.
Absolutely. I find that for me, being on a stage, the biggest shift was to realize that the audience is a reflection of me.
Okay.
So if their energy is low, if, they're sitting there like with these faces of skepticism going, let's see what this is, I'm projecting that on them.
Okay.
So I've got to shift my energy. Sometimes I would notice in the morning, the crowd is all pumped and high energy. And then throughout the afternoon, evening, it starts to go down. And it was me, because I was starting to get tired, and I was reflecting that energy onto my audience. So once I realized, I would go out the bag and, do whatever it takes to wake me up and get me positive and energetic again, so I could reflect. And then the result would be instant, because it's recycling energy. I give them energy, they get pumped, they give me energy back, and it's that recycling. And the other biggest realization for me that I teach a lot of people how to speak, and they don't realize that speaking has nothing to do with us.
Yeah.
And the minute it's easier said than done. But the minute that we finally realize that, it transforms everything. Because when we are thinking about us and being nervous and, oh my God, am I doing it right? And not this and that, we're all in our head. So we're being selfish. We're only focusing in us, being self-centered instead of thinking of the audience. Once we can think bigger, get out of ourselves and just think about them. Am I adding enough value? Am I connecting with them? Am I being authentic enough? Then you forget about, am I doing it right? Am I doing it no? Am I nervous? Who cares? It's nothing to do with me. It's about them.
Yeah.
I'm here to serve them. And so one thing that I find, for example, Tanya, like I teach people in my signature speech program that, many people go to learn how to speak, and it's not about learning how to be a public speaker. It's about removing the layers
Absolutely.
that are covering our authenticity.
Absolutely.
For the signature speech, we remove all of those blocks and limiting beliefs so that the real authenticity can come from the inside out, because that's when people connect, when we're being authentic.
Yeah.
Because if we're not authentic, if we just learn how to put on the show instead of being authentic, then people think they don't know exactly why, but there's a disconnect. They're like, I don't know, there's something about this person, and they feel like you're a little dodgy or something. They don't know why, but their intuition is telling them this person is not authentic. But when we allow that authenticity to come out and be ourselves, then people don't know why, but they are like in love with you and what you have to teach.
They magnetize.
Not only that, many times when you don't even have the content, it doesn't matter, because when you're on purpose and being authentic, you get channeled.
Absolutely.
And it just comes to you, and you just
Absolutely.
being the medium of passing the message on to your audience. It's magical.
Yeah, amazing. I wanted to talk about this. Thank you so much for that bit. Is about depth. So, in our journey and where we met, I observed you. You made, so just for context, guys, Sandra's come leaps and bounds, and she's doing some amazing things now. But I observed her see this in her own mind's eye even before her leaps actually occurred. So I have witnessed her be pre-planning, pre-thinking, and seeing ahead of time what she wanted to create in her life. I've actually witnessed it. And I also have witnessed and had the privilege of witnessing a lot of the clearing, we'll call it, that Sandra has done, in that there was one particular experience we had, and you were sharing with a room some really deep stuff that, has happened to you in your life. Now, the thing I want to talk about is there are some people that get stuck in the pain, Sandra, and this can hold them back. This is the belief stuff, and this talks to your point just now. And I'd love for you to share your own personal philosophy on the balance between, being positive and, moving forward, and actually really genuinely resolving, clearing and dissolving the pain so that it doesn't hold you back. What are your thoughts on that?
Yes, I'm glad you touched on that, because it's such an important point. And what I realized around that time when I met you, Tanya, is that I'm born in Mexico, right? And so hence the accent, if you're having trouble understanding me. In Mexico, the culture is very like, everything is perfect. My life is just amazing. I've got the best relationship, the best kids, the best this, the best that. And we keep everything in. Okay. And imagine the amount of bottlenecks that creates.
Absolutely.
And so for me, going away and growing up and working on myself allowed me to realize that it's okay to be vulnerable.
Yeah.
People are too scared. They're afraid to open up.
Yeah.
And the truth is, we're all human beings.
Yeah.
And we all go through the same problems. And there's not such a thing as a perfect relationship. There's not such a thing as, the perfect wife, the perfect husband, the perfect kids, the perfect job, the perfect career, successful entrepreneurs. Oh yeah, it's all magical. It all happened. No way.
Yeah.
We're all humans. And so it's safe to be vulnerable. It's safe to open up. And so when something happens and we cover it all up, that energy becomes a block. Imagine like a big ball of black hair that just clogged your shower drain, right?
Yeah.
Your sink. That's exactly what happens literally. When you go through those extreme emotions because something happened, and then you're not willing to heal and put closure and talk about it and seek help, that turns into this knot of black, yucky, stinky energy that gets in your subconscious. And it might have nothing to do with the topic. It might have something that happened to you sexually as a child, and that block is getting on the way of you being financially free, for example.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
But it affects, it could be, I know for me, I have blocks of being bullied at a school when I was a child in a girls' school, right?
Okay.
And I realized that I didn't think it was important. But again, as an adult, once I was willing to go back and get into the feeling and remove those blocks, again, financial prosperity opened up. A breakup with my boyfriend in college that had me heartbroken, which I didn't think was a big deal, again, was creating a block. So when I removed all of those blocks that were irrelevant to career and business and financial freedom, all of those things started coming to me. And then I realized, and that's what really inspired me to do, my amazing leadership retreats for women.
Yes.
That's one of the things we do. First is like, okay, you got to be willing to be vulnerable, to open up. It's a safe environment. And leaders go first. So I go first and share. Whoa, did she just share that on the first day at the first hour? Yeah, why keep it to the end? That's
really interesting too. I wanted to jump in there. That's a great link. That interestingly, you talk now about, females and even being bullied, right? And there are a lot of women who have got trust issues with other women. And so this is where you're going into it, you're creating this environment. So what was your think? I was just going to ask you, what's your thinking about that and your retreat? Because this is the kind of resources I'd love to make available to my community, just so they know what you've got going on. Absolutely. So tell me about this retreat in particular.
Yes, let me tell you first quickly the purpose. What happened is, when I was in many different stages, speaking all over the world, every time I share my story, I would get women approach me and go, "Oh my God, you really touched me. I was really inspired. And, this is what I want to do. And I see myself in you." And when I ask, what do you do? What do you want to do? Is this, why are you not doing it? And the thing I realized, Tanya, was that regardless of what country, what language, what culture, the theme was always the same. They just didn't believe they were good enough. Okay. I met all these talented, amazing women in many different fields who weren't living into their full potential because they just lacked the self-esteem and the confidence that they could do it. And what happens for us as women is that your husband, your son, your father could come and say, "Tanya, you're beautiful, you're talented, you're smart." And it's like, yeah, that's beautiful. That means one thing. But when another woman comes and tells you, "You're beautiful, you're smart, you're talented," it means a complete different story.
Okay, talk about that. That's really interesting. Really interesting.
Exactly. And just like men, they always say behind every successful man, there's a very strong woman holding his back. It's exactly the same with women. Mm-hmm. If you see a very successful woman, businesswoman, entrepreneur, whatever, you'll see there's a group of women holding her back. Mm-hmm. And so that was my awakening to, oh my God, especially coming from a culture where it's all about like, let's put each other down. And if you're doing great, I'm jealous and I'm going to, criticize. Really, how about we go the opposite? How about we become soul sisters where we're here to support each other and to empower, and because that really builds our confidence. And you feel so strong and powerful when you've got 10 women behind holding your back so you cannot fall. And that we can shine just as much. And so that's how I went into creating the amazing leadership retreats for women, where it could be a healing place where they can come and dump all of those black clots that they have, where they can dump all of their past baggage in a safe environment and then be patched, if you will, with new beliefs of confidence and self-esteem, where they can walk out of there feeling safe and rejuvenated and like a new person. We actually have a ceremony, a reborn ceremony, because, we leave all of that baggage that you never wanted to tell anyone. And it's like, it's not a big deal. It's very openly. Who cares?
Yeah, it's really, really interesting. There's a couple of different thoughts in here. I was at an event. I was running a corporate event and was approached afterwards, because I'm talking about the power of communication. People don't say what they mean and mean what they say in the corporate setting. This was a leadership thing. And I got approached by one of the guys at this thing, and he talked to me, asked me about support and resources for his wife, because he needs support from her and she doesn't have the support that she needs, so she can't support him. But she also hasn't got absolute clarity about her own purpose and her own reason, and her sense of who she is very wrapped up in his success. And what I'm getting from you is this self-awareness of your own gifts and your own talent and what you bring as an individual, and that, you know, if you are successful, it doesn't diminish your partner, your husband. And I think this is also something that happens in with women in upbringing that sounds like you're smashing as well, that, you know, women can't be outshining their partner. And I observe you in your relationships and how you guys balance that. There's a lot in there, but what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, if you think about it, Tanya, like men by nature, they are transactional. Women by nature are relational.
Yeah.
So these days, like, you know, I remember even starting with flight center, I don't know, 15, 20 years ago, where people would just come in, next, yeah, you want to book it? Yes, no, it doesn't matter. Next. It didn't matter. It was just all a numbers game. And then things started to change when now we really want to build relationships and we really want to have a bond. We want to buy products and services from people that we like. So we have a very unfair advantage over men who are very transactional.
Yes, definitely.
Because they need to build that you know, relationship. And so smart and successful men these days are becoming very heart-centered, and they're learning from women how to build those relationships that for us is just natural because we're nurturers by nature, right? Yeah. But when you think about it, we couldn't do it without each other. And that's why, you know, the universe created men and women.
Absolutely.
Because men, very successful men, let me tell you, many of you probably know, but again, it's one of the things that people don't talk about. But very successful men, entrepreneurs, business owners, CEOs, they couldn't do it without the support of the woman behind. Because they come home and they're vulnerable and they open up their weaknesses and they cry and they share how stressed they are and how, you know, all the doubts they have. Yeah. And it's the woman that is behind them going, oh my God, you know, you're my hero, you're amazing, you're so smart, you're powerful. They couldn't do it without us.
Absolutely.
And vice versa, we couldn't do it without them.
Yeah.
And so it's really beautiful when both can be doing their own thing, supporting each other at the same time, without losing their own purpose and their own sense of being. You know, I have this amazing woman in Germany, and she's a healer and she's really, really gifted. And the only thing that's lacking is the financial success to what she does. And she has an amazing relationship with her husband, and the husband supports her and believes in her and knows she's amazing. But guess what? That hasn't been enough. She needed to have a female mentor to say the same things that the husband says to her for them to have an effect on her to finally start moving forward financially. You know, that's just how it works. And it makes such a big difference. And the other thing is, I get a lot of women as well that were dedicated to their family and their kids. And all of a sudden the kids grow up. They become empty nesters and they start to feel empty because what was their purpose all of a sudden is gone. And they don't want to just sit there and be the support behind the husband. They want to shine and do their own thing, which they're completely allowed and safe to do.
Yeah. It's really amazing that energy. I think you're talking about the balance of male and female energy, the roles that society puts on us. And then we have to navigate it because there's lots changing in the world now. You know, the hierarchical structures of business are not existing like they used to. They're being smashed, as you said before, about, you know, people needing to be more relational. You've got entrepreneurship on the rise, and then people navigating male and female energy, and, you know, how that all integrates and fits together. So your work is touching quite a few areas of, you know, life and so on. What would be your main mission or the big game that you're playing? Like, when you get to the end of your life and look back, and I know that's going to line up with your intention, but I'd love to hear your vision. You know, what your work is all about and the impact that you're having, Sandra. Like, you feel that your purpose is. And then I'd love to talk about how you manifested that and created that and that process. But what's your end game, or I won't call it success, but impact? What's the impact, the positive difference you really want to be making?
For me, it's all about empowering. My verb is empowering. My mission is empowering. Now, right now, it's mainly with women. Would it expand into men later on? I don't know. I'm open to it. I think that you were just talking about culture and the massive amount of pressure that we're put under socially. And the truth is that I've noticed that really strongly recently, Tanya, because in the old days, like men were okay for the woman to stay at home, or in fact, they wanted their lady to stay at home and take care of the house and the meals and the kids, etc.
Yeah.
The times have changed, and I see more and more these days that men who have women that stay at home, they start to get resentful because they feel like, why am I working my butt off to provide financially for my wife to just be home and, you know, have a nice lifestyle and go and get her nails, her hair, and her coffee. And unfortunately, the way that men are approaching it is by not supporting their self-esteem and putting the pressure of, wait a second, you have to provide too. Like, you know, this is
Contribute.
partnership, contribute financially, which puts a lot of pressure on the woman in terms of their self-esteem, when, you know, my job is to make that woman feel safe and empowered. That is not so much about you have to provide as well or you have to contribute, but it's about you have a gift too, and you're allowed to shine. You're allowed to leave that and to share that gift, because otherwise you're being selfish.
Yes.
You keep it to yourself. Imagine you arrive to my, I'm going to have a housewarming party soon, and I hope you come, Tanya. Imagine you arrive to my housewarming party with this beautifully wrapped gift, and you come in all excited and you put it on the table, and off you go to mingle and dance and have a drink and whatever. And the night comes to an end, and then you leave and you go and grab your beautifully wrapped gift and you take it back home with you. And so you never opened it. And, you know, that's so true in life. We all came to this life with a gift. And it's sad that some people have to live this life without open and using their gift.
Absolutely.
And I don't want that to happen to anyone. I want women, I want to help them realize and find out and unwrap it and see what the gift is, and then put the batteries in it so they can go and play with it and bring joy to many other people around, because they're using their gift.
Yeah.
Financial success comes, but first you need to be aligned with your purpose.
Absolutely.
Realize a gift and share it with the world. And I think that's where, unfortunately, men don't have that touch to support and empower the women, instead of putting the pressure of you have to provide, which is crushing their self-esteem.
There's lots in this, and this word keeps coming up as you're talking, symbiotic. You know, I'm seeing what you're doing with, you know, alliances and you know, energy, because you are talking about male and female energy, but I'm not hearing competition. I'm hearing bringing together and aligning. That's what I'm hearing when you're speaking. So it feels like there's this new path, like in a way there's an education path for collaboration and, you know, working together, but at the same time, it doesn't diminish anybody else. This is the feeling that I'm getting when you're talking, right? That you're empowering everyone at the same time. It's like, and I think that from a society point of view, and particularly the male energy, the competitive thing, and I think you know, I talk about this too, that there isn't actually competition, because you bring what you bring, I bring what I bring, Alex brings what Alex brings, whoever brings what whoever brings, and it's how your unique way of bringing what it is that you bring, and it might even be similar, and it might even serve a similar kind of people, but sometimes different people need different things depending on the journey in their life. So there isn't really competition, it's more collaboration. Do you think the world is really ready to embrace this and understands it when, you know, business drives and talks about competitors all the time, Sandra? And I know you're very, you know, business savvy as well. What do you think?
Well, we're slowly getting there, probably not as fast as we would like to, but you're right. It's all about collaboration and not competition, or you can call it co-opetition.
Yes.
It's collaborate with each other. And I mean, you know, the self-made entrepreneur is a myth. There's no one who has made it to success without the support and collaboration of others. There's not such a thing. And, you know, I think we came from a very scarcity mindset back from the war. And, you know, some of us had parents that are still alive that were part of the world or of the wars, or grandparents where everything was scarcity, right? They didn't have enough to eat, they didn't have enough supplies in the house, etc. But, you know, we really need to do more work to move into an abundance mentality where there is enough for everyone to be had. You know, there's plenty of resources in the world. We're never going to run out of water. because now not only there's enough water in the world, but there's enough technology to clean that water, to make it safe for us to use it, to drink it, etc. And so we need to come from a place of abundance where the more that we support each other karmically, the more benefit that we get.
Mm-hmm,
and we need to focus on that. Like, what can I do for you? How can I help you? Instead of thinking that, I had a situation once with a couple of my ladies, my members, that one of them had this, I don't know, great idea and called it something. I can't remember the exact words. And then the other one said, oh, yeah, I'm already using those words. I think they're amazing. And so then the other one called me really stressed going, but, that was my idea. And now she's going to start using it. And I'm like, so? There's a million women out there. You'll get some, she'll get some, and there'll be a ton left over for everyone else. Like, I said, really? Are you worried about that? Imagine the energy, the negative energy you're putting into it when you're coming from that place of scarcity. If you don't have competition, you won't be in business, because it means there's no demand. You want to go into a niche, into an industry that has competition, because then people want what you have. And as you said, who teaches personal development? Millions
Everyone.
Of people, right?
Absolutely.
We all do, but we all have our own view, our own point,
Absolutely.
our own angle. And there's
Absolutely.
people that are going to resonate with the way you explain it, with the way I explain it, etc. And so there's people for everyone.
Absolutely. Different people at different times. So this is where, with even the group, personal growth and development online that I started, that's why I want you in there contributing, because in there, you can be teaching and talking, and people at a particular point in their journey will resonate with you and your energy and where you're at. With me, even in the my business space, in the entrepreneur space, I have a program called Unlock Your Business Genius. Okay, and I've been running that now for about 2 years, and I only recently heard about the Genius Network. I didn't even know that it existed. And it's like, it's language. At the end of the day, different people are going to gravitate to different people in different parts of the world at different times. And it's about, and I also believe in this, downloading, as you talked about before. And let's touch on this. If certain people in the planet are all talking about, like if you think about Roger Bannister, who broke the mile, the 1 minute mile, and then the minute that he did that, a whole series of other athletes did it as well. The minute that somewhere in the world there is a new word, there is some terminology, there is, you probably can explain this better than me, it's going to start popping up everywhere, because the time in the world for that to occur is in that moment, and that particular person receives that information. But it's something that I think you do amazingly well, and that's move to action quickly. It's one thing to get the idea, it's another thing to act on it. And so I think the topics we're covering here are alignment, the timing in the market when an idea is born, but then there's a difference between the person who gets the idea and acts on it and the person who gets the idea and doesn't act on it. And there's also the concept here of, sharing and understanding that it is abundance. What are your thoughts on the downloading and the timing in the market? What are the trends and things you're seeing as you travel all around the world at the same time?
One of the biggest things I see, Tanya, is that the biggest reason why people are not successful these days is because of the amount of distractions. They don't focus to finish what they start. And so they start on something and they're all excited and they commit and they pay money and all these things. And then, a day, a week, a month, a year goes by, and a new shiny object comes, a new, bright opportunity, and they get sidetracked, and then they forget how to get back to the path where they were.
Yes.
And it's so sad, because people these days are super busy all day long, but they confuse activity with accomplishment.
Yes.
And one thing is to be busy answering emails and posts and messages, to actually doing things that are getting you closer to your goal.
Yes.
And I always say to my ladies, you got to get up and have your top 3 for the day.
Yeah.
You write them down the night before or first thing in the morning. Your top 3 are going to do things you commit to doing yourself, but they're things that are either generating revenue for you or getting you closer to your goal. Then once they're done, you can deal with the extra emails and the extra this and the extra that.
Prioritize
let us not confuse what's urgent and what's important.
Yeah.
My phone ringing right now might be urgent because it's demanding my attention right now, but it's not important.
It's about attention.
I have something more important to do. Yeah. And it's all about focus and being able to put the blinkers like a horse and eliminate all of the distractions. And again, sometimes it comes from a scarcity mentality of
miss out. I'm going to miss out. Fear of missing out.
Exactly. And it's like, no, you just need to do one thing and do it well.
Yes,
Ignore the rest of the noise. Ignore what everyone else is doing. Just do your thing and do it right.
Yes.
Magic happens because you're on purpose. You're aligned. It's
absolutely. I've experienced that. I know exactly what you're talking about. It's amazing. And I'd love you to talk about productivity and protecting your own agenda. Because that's what you're talking about.
Yes, absolutely. So I somehow, I don't know why, but when someone just rings unannounced, I find it rude these days. Yeah. It's like, wait a second, like, why don't you just book an appointment? And then I know. So for me, booking appointments is crucial. And especially, for example, if someone goes like, oh, I want to do something nice, like I'm already, overwhelmed. But if I book it for 2 weeks later, it's like, okay, so Monday morning, the first thing I do is I look at my calendar for the week so that I can prepare mentally.
Yes.
Now, a really important concept I want to share here, Tanya, is the concept of transitions. Okay, transitions drain energy. So if you have a lot of transitions during the day, and I'm going to give you an example of a day that is filled with transitions for me, okay? And that's when you're juggling the hats of being a mom, an entrepreneur.
Switching.
And so I'm rushing to a plane and I still have the computer on, and then I get off the plane and I have to hurry pick up my kids from school. And so I have all these transitions, right? And then I've got to interrupt my work day because maybe I have an appointment with the doctor, with the solicitor, with the real estate agent, whatever. And so what happens is that every transition I take drains my energy equals my willpower. So when I come back, let's say at 3 p.m, and I want to do something that's really important, guess what? I don't have enough willpower anymore to focus on that thing that's important, which is why those important things need to be done first thing in the morning. When they can get all of your attention and you still have the willpower. Now, the goal is to reduce the amount of transitions that we have.
Okay.
And I'm going to give you a really good example. Even electronics, drain their energy with transitions. I was at the airport with Alex and I was on my phone and we're trying to get on a call with someone. And when the call wasn't going through, I'm jumping from app to app, from WhatsApp to Skype to Slack to whatever. And I'm seeing my phone and there's like a 4% battery left, okay? And while I'm jumping from one app to another, the battery is going
Great analogy.
2%, 1%. So in about 10 seconds, I drained 3% of the battery of my phone because of the amount of transitions. I was jumping from one app to another to another. Now, once I finally got this person on the phone, we're talking, and 5 minutes go by, and my phone still has 1%.
Okay.
And then it finally died, and I went, wow, isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
1% lasted for 5 minutes because I wasn't doing anything else but the call.
Focused.
But 3% drained like that in less than a minute because I was having so many transitions.
Great.
It's the same with us human beings.
Great analogy.
You want to maintain your willpower, your energy, your focus. Reduce the amount of transitions. Transitions is changing activities from one thing to another.
Absolutely.
So when you allow yourself to be interrupted with your Skype, your email, they're transitions because they're draining your energy. They're shifting your focus. Now you have to try to concentrate, get back to what you're doing. You just drain 10% of your battery, gone. So reduce the amount of transitions.
Beautiful.
Schedule your appointments so that if I have to go out, I'm going to do all my appointments on Friday because on Monday I don't want to move out of my home office because I want to be productive and get my stuff. I don't want to have all these transitions of jumping in the car, getting out, shopping center, because it's going to drain my willpower. Then I can't focus and be productive, juicy stuff, creative stuff, especially creativity. You gotta have your willpower, your focus. So if you're going to have appointments, have them all in the one day. If you go to my calendar, you'll see there's only certain days, certain times, because I've got to plan my agenda for the week to reserve my energy, my willpower, and eliminate the amount of transitions I have.
That's great. You know, there's that works to the word symbiotic before, because the same with business. You know, you've got this concept and then you've got this random thing over here, and the energy jumping back and forth just because it's a new idea. Whereas if it's kind of like an alliance that is symbiotic, and maybe it is a competitor, but it's similar, then the jump is actually smoother as well. So you're speaking to this principle, which is like massive, massive, massive. Thank you for that. Fantastic. Really, really cool. You're observing life as it's happening, which is awesome. Tell me how people can connect with you. Tell me how people can access resources, and who your programs or your study resources are ideal for, please, Sandra.
Absolutely. So the main place to go to is amazing.com. That's amazing with triple S instead of C because of my accent. Besides, the triple S stands for a simplified success system, step by step. You know,
okay, nice
work. So you do. And amazing.com, because basically you can start doing my free 7-day Amazing Habits for Success.
Okay.
Which is like one a day. You can click on the tab that is called, actually, am I allowed to screen share?
Yeah, you can do it.
Might make it easier. Let me...
in the moment, girl.
Why not? Hey.
Let's go.
Bring it on.
Share it.
Share.
And you've got a retreat coming up as well, I think.
I do.
Yes,
so I want to move this out of my way. My battery is draining, speaking of which. So if you go to Amazing, let's see if we can move this bar. Okay, there we go. Amazing.com. That's the main place where you can find all the magic.
Fantastic.
So what you will see at the top is different tabs. You can get the 7 amazing habits to a successful and fulfilling life for free. Mm-hmm. And then in here, one thing I want to show you is the university.
Awesome. This is great.
Which takes you, if you go to the university, it opens pretty much all of my online courses.
Yes, great.
And there's the amazing online academy to do. It talks about the retreats, my signature speech, my amazing money matters to improve your money mindset.
Great.
If we go back here, you can go and get a free class which talks about my top 5 secrets to unlimited confidence. And most importantly, you can go here to the retreat and you'll see the upcoming retreats and where they are, etc.
So you've got one coming up in a few weeks, and then you've got another one in October. Is that right?
Your Correct.
Retreats?
Yes.
Okay,
October
good.
is at the Hunter Valley in.
Ladies only. Ladies only.
Ladies only. Okay. However, you're allowed to bring your partner and your kids.
Okay.
They won't come into the retreat, but they can come and be at the property.
Okay, beautiful. Gorgeous.
Right here.
Okay.
And so you can definitely bring people to stay with you. If they're not women, they won't be doing the retreat, but they can still come.
Perfect. That's gorgeous. And as I can see by your gorgeous background, you're very into lifestyle and integrating and your life and being authentic. It's wonderful. So tell me about this place.
I just bought this beautiful property. It's on 3,000 square meters. We usually have kangaroos in the morning just sitting there. And I have 2 girls. I'm the mother of 2 beautiful little girls, and they are very energetic.
Yeah. Oh, really? I wonder where they get that from.
And so they need the outdoor space. You know,
congratulations.
For the friends, there's a trampoline, there's the pool. And the other thing is safety for me is important. So the girls, and as they come closer to the teenage years, I want them to have all of the friends here.
Okay.
So that I know what they're doing and they're safe, rather than my kids being somewhere else where I have no idea.
I just got something just now. You kept saying the word safe, and now I really understand it. And safety and empowerment, I think they're the 2 things that you really are about, and I really get that with you. And I think it's a wonderful space that you provide for people, whether it's online, whether it's one-on-one. Do you do one-on-one anymore, or are you doing more your masterminds? You do? Okay.
Yeah, the one-on-one is called the Inner Circle, and it's like a 1-year private mentoring with me.
Okay, great. And so everything you're doing is you're creating that safety and you're creating that empowerment, and it's amazing.
I'm your net.
Say.
You're the surface lady, and I'm your net here to catch you safely.
Got it.
Love.
Sandra, thank you so much for sharing your energy, your wisdom, your journey with us. I'd love to get you on again at some point, and we'll pick something specific we can talk about, because the people in my community will really value this. I really appreciate it. I'm going to put this up on my different channels and push it out on social media. Oh, wow.
My
your books, of course.
SandraBravo.live.
Okay.
Website.
Okay, great.
And you can
fantastic. Okay, so there's one on selling. Just pick that up. One on selling.
7 Secrets to Successful Selling.
Okay, great.
Nice little thing. And this is part of my amazing online academy. It's 100 days. This book is 100 days. And the intention is that you grab it every morning. You do day 1, which takes you 2 minutes to read, and then 5 minutes to implement, and you put it away until the next day. Day 2. Because this is about consistency, doing daily little things that are going to reprogram those habits that have been getting on the way of success.
I think the reprogramming piece is really important in consistency. And I've got some other observations of you where the importance of having you on this program for me was sharing with people, like, you're the product of what you're doing. It's not theory. You actually have lived this. I observe you living it, and I've observed your life go from strength to strength, and it really is amazing. And so there's a particular group of people that I wanted to make sure that get introduced to you and your programs, and I really hope that they connect in and lean into you. So thank you so much for your time and this opportunity we have today to connect. I really, really value it. It's been beautiful.
Thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, it's gorgeous to see you. So thank you very much, everybody. If you want to reach out and connect with Sandra, I will also include the links. And Sandra, what's the primary place for them to go?
Amazing.com with triple S.
Okay,
and,
that's great.
For the books, they can go to SandraBravo.live.
Awesome. Thank you, Sandra. Bye for now. Bye.